Howdy. Howdy, welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Check out my last Marvel video. Go check out my last Marvel video. Also, I got playlists on my channel, you know. So if y'all want to see specific reactions, y'all can easily find them through those playlists. And I update them every single time I drop a video that goes along with said playlist, you know. So go ahead and check them all out so y'all see what I'm reacting to. If y'all want more of those videos, comment on one of those videos and I'll see the comment for sure. You know what I'm saying? And if I like the comment, you'll know, like, okay, he's seen it. You know, that's how you know if I've really seen your comment. You know. But today we got a video from the Cosmic Wonder, another Marvel update. Sony just exposed themselves. They have no plan for the Spider-Man universe.
Sony just revealed two big things about how they think about their
I hope
Spider-Man
this ain't
related
true,
properties.
man.
And don't get me wrong, I actually think
There's
that
3
Craven the Hunter isn't
Spider-Mans,
going to be
bro.
so bad. I actually think that it's going to be good, maybe even
I think it's gonna be
pretty
one of the
good,
best
but we'll have
ones,
to
the
wait and see on
best
that.
Marvel
However, I
show
am starting
movies
to
in
basically
a
believe
minute.
that
I think it's
Sony
gonna
is
be one of the
just
best
kind of
ones.
pumping these movies out, these Spider-Man related movies, to maintain their rights to Spider-Man and all of the Spider-Man related characters that they own. And if you're not aware what I'm talking about, the contract for the Spider-Man rights that Sony currently owns reportedly says that if Sony doesn't make a Spider-Man or Spider-Man related movie with Spider-Man characters with the rights that they own, they seemingly forfeit the rights to Spider-Man. So basically, if they don't make another
Oh, and
Spider-Man
they
related,
somebody got their foot on their neck, you know. That's hey, I really feel like, bro, if these are the characters they have, bro, they could do a Morbius too, because Morbius was a great movie. I just feel like it didn't have enough time to show how great it could really be. It's just I honestly liked it, you know. I feel like they could do a lot with that. I feel like Madam Web should have been way better. So might as well give us a second one or give us a TV series. I feel like that's what Sony should do. If they do TV series with these characters, bro, they'll have a lot better success. You know, I don't know why they trying to force movies. The Craven movie is cool, you know, but they should do they should do a movie on Morbius. You know, Madam Web I feel like should be a series. Miles Morales I feel like should be a series. You know, Carnage I don't know what that should be yet. You know, but they could do a lot with the characters they have. It's just it seemed like that's not their focus right
movie within a certain amount of
now. Like they
years, the
focusing
rights
on
go
something
back
else.
to Marvel Studios. And
Does it
before
have
I
to be
wanted to
movies?
believe that they were
If it could be
trying to do
video
their own
games, that'll
thing, they
probably
were
be better.
trying to create their own Spider-Man universe and maybe have Andrew Garfield come back since they didn't really have a Spider-Man of their
I hope
own, and do a
so.
connected universe like the Marvel Cinematic Universe does, and actually try to make something big and worthwhile,
They
something that
can.
fans
Andrew
could get
Garfield
into and
deserves another
attach to.
Spider-Man.
But now, I don't really think that's
100%.
the plan. Maybe it was once upon a time, but now I'm kind of convinced that they're just putting these movies out to maintain the rights. Because I think Sony just
They
revealed
might be
two
though.
things about themselves and the process that they go through making movies. One, I think they revealed that they kind of don't really ever have an idea of what they want to do. And two, they probably
Sony, if y'all see this, I'm sending this video to them, y'all. Guarantee. Sony, pick me, bro. I got ideas. If Marvel don't want to pick me up, because they might end up doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sony, pick me up. I'm telling you, I got ideas for y'all movies. Y'all can trust me. Put it in my hands. I got some ideas. Just get me and some other people, you know what I'm saying, to think about it. I'm telling you, we'll come up with some good movies or a TV series, like a little storyline for y'all characters, bro. I'm sending this video
don't
to
really
him, bro.
care. As long as they get the movies out and maintain
That's
the rights
Sony.
to Spider-Man and can keep almost making money from some of these, because, you know, some of
They
them
give me
just
back.
really
We bring
bomb
Andrew Garfield back, bro.
bomb at the box office, like Madam Web, they can continue just to make these movies to make the money because of Spider-Man in the MCU. He's got to make them a lot of money, and they don't want to lose the rights to him. But let's specifically talk about what they have recently kind of revealed about themselves, and it comes down to Venom: The Last Dance, which I'm actually quite surprised about, to
I
be
still haven't
perfectly
seen it
honest.
because it ain't
Look, I
HD
enjoyed
yet
Venom
on
3. I
no
actually did, because I
platforms.
shut my
That's
brain off
free.
knowing what it was going to be, and I had a good time. Having said that, the script and the plot really wasn't the best. I mean, the movie is littered with plot holes and contradictions, actually. The movie contradicts itself a lot, and the reason I'm so surprised is
Really,
because I know Tom Hardy loves playing Venom. I know he loves this character, and
put
if he
him
was
in a
happy with
movie
the
with
film,
Andrew
that's
Garfield.
fantastic, but I feel like the studio probably interfered quite a bit. But it just kind of sounds like they rushed this movie, and it wasn't really prepared that well, which brings
Look, this is a little idea. This ain't like 100% idea. This is just a little one I could throw at him. the Spider-Man that Venom saw in, I forgot what movie it was. Remember he saw Spider-Man when in No Way Home and he got revealed or whatever. He saw him on the TV. We can have Venom try and track that Spider-Man down, but he ends up tracking down the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man instead. You know what I'm saying? And then that could be one way where they end up meeting up. I don't know if y'all want them to go at each other or work together somehow, or want Andrew Garfield to get the suit. I feel like he should be able to get the suit somehow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe he tracks down Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, and maybe he leaves. Maybe that Spider-Man could get like the Carnage version. You know, maybe Andrew Garfield could get the Carnage version of, like they could do a lot, just based off the last Venom movie, how the little piece of Venom came off. Maybe they could do the same thing with Andrew Garfield, like a little piece of him come off and he gets a little bit of the Venom, and then he end up leaving and coming back to this movie, and then Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's dealing with his, bro. Sign
Us
me
to our
up,
first
Sony.
topic, Andy
Y'all missing out,
Serkis
bro.
playing
I'll get y'all
Null.
going
He said
on
that he
video
came in at
games,
the
TV
very
shows,
last
movies.
minute to record the voice for Null. This is literally what he said in a recent interview. This interview was at Fan
It'll be hard for
Expo
me
in
to
San
choose
Francisco,
people
and he was
to
talking
cast,
about the
though. I ain't gonna lie.
possibility of
I
Null
have to do more time
essentially
with that, but
returning
I could
somewhere
bring up a
down the
story
line.
for real.
And this is what he said. He said,
Get
and
me
I
on
quote,
set. I could tell them
"Well,
how
that's
I want it to
also
be.
very
You know what I'm saying?
interesting.
I'm
I
telling
really
you, bro.
genuinely have no
It's gonna
idea.
happen, y'all.
It was very much, can you come in? It was quite last minute, actually. Can you come in and do the voice for Null?" So I came in and did it on the stage. Then there was talk of, this could go on. He's quite a big character.
I could see him
And
playing
I was
though.
like, yeah,
He
I know
really good
that.
at playing like the
Well,
villain
let's see what
or the
happens,
bad guy.
actually. End quote. To me, this is actually insane. They call him in the last minute and
Bro,
say, hey, do you
is
want to be the voice of
ugly
Null?
as
Do you want to be
hell,
Null?
bro.
Very last minute, he comes in and records it. And then just casually, they're like, hey, maybe Null could go on and be in other movies. And maybe this could be a thing. He's a big character in the
He
comics.
can.
They
Don't he fight
literally had
old boy from the
no
Thunderbolts?
plan in place for the future whatsoever. And sadly, it kind of seems like Sony is just kind of throwing things at the wall to see if they stick at this point. Like, hey, we're going to introduce Null and Venom the Last Dance. And if people kind of like this idea of Null being a big bad in our mess of a universe, perhaps we can continue to tell the story. But if they don't like it, we can kind of just push it to the side. This is really crazy for me that they really seemingly didn't have a plan for Null to be anything else outside of Venom 3, The Last Dance. Kind of seems like, based off of what Andy Serkis said, it's just kind of a thought that crosses their mind, but no actual plan behind anything. Just kind of, hey, if it works, maybe we continue it. In which, that's fine. If you're a company, if you're a huge one like Sony, and you see something that works, by all means, capitalize on it, but do it right. Just do it the way it should be done. Give it the time, the effort, the energy, and the care that it deserves. Don't treat it so nonchalantly. But it does unfortunately kind of seem like that is how they treated Venom The Last Dance, because now we'll go into the second point that they made recently to further prove that they really just don't know what they're doing. We have a deleted scene that is going to come out when the movie is released on Blu-ray, but fortunately we know the details about it now. This scene reveals a very contradicting scene to what we saw in the actual movie, having to do with the symbiote toxin. Now, during the movie, Detective Patrick Mulligan, his symbiote should have been Toxin, the spawn of the Carnage symbiote, which we kind of saw happen at the end of Venom 2. We essentially saw Toxin be created and then bond with Detective Mulligan. So fans were like, okay, great, Toxin's gonna be in the next Venom movie. However, Venom 3, The Last Dance made it very clear that the original symbiote that bonded with Patrick Mulligan left him. So they bond him with a new symbiote, who apparently wasn't Toxin, but seemingly was Toxin before. Here's what I mean. Since the film really did try to establish that the symbiote that was originally bonded with Mulligan abandoned him after his run-in with Venom and Carnage, a lot of people said, well, Toxin then is still out there, right? Well, perhaps not necessarily. We've learned that there's going to be a deleted scene titled Toxins Warning that is going to be centered around Detective Patrick
So
Mulligan
did
and the
the
snake-like
toxin one? Did
symbiote
he
who he is bonded with, which
he
would seemingly
survive?
confirm that that symbiote was indeed Toxin, and if
What
that
the fuck
was
is
the
that?
case, that symbiote is now gone. The xenophage chewed him up and spit him out, which would be a complete and total waste because Toxin is really an awesome character from the comics. But also, you have to consider that
Guess
this
he
was
didn't
supposed to be
survive
the last
then.
film for Tom Hardy's Venom. Yet, at the same time, they did tease that the Venom symbiote is still alive. So now
See, I
people
think it's the end of Tom Hardy having his own movies, but he might do cameos in a lot of these movies coming up. He might not be doing his own little line of movies no more, but he might. I think he gonna pop up a lot in Spider-Man stuff, a lot, you know. And maybe it might not be Tom Hardy. Maybe it'll be like, because remember, supposedly he got a son or something like that in the comics, like Eddie Brock, I think is his name or something. I don't know, you know, but maybe they'll do something with that,
are
you know.
wondering if they're going to continue Venom in their universe, but with a different actor and a different person, not Eddie Brock, bonding with the Venom symbiote.
Look,
There has been talks of an Agent Venom project possibly going to
I heard
Sony,
about
maybe
that.
to the MCU. Of course, we've heard all of the rumors
I don't,
about
I
Tom
don't know if
Hardy
I'm a,
and Null
I don't know
possibly
about
going
that.
over to the MCU as well, maybe in Spider-Man 4.
This
Those are
remind
just
me of
rumors,
the
those are
video
not
game
confirmed
of
at this point in time.
Harry.
But the main
Remember how he
point
looked?
that Sony has actually shown to us via every
Hey, I just thought about that, bro. What about Harry, bro? Does Amazing Spot does Andrew Garfield? Did he have a Harry? Nah, he didn't even have no friends, bro. It was a loner, bro. So they could do that with his next one where he meet Harry. Harry end up having, you know, and then bro, they miss now, bro. Andrew Garfield really does deserve another. He deserves to stay Spider Man. You know what I'm saying? He deserves another Spider Man movie. You know, he do. He really do.
everything that we have learned is that they seemingly have no plan for their
Bro, at
universe,
least make
at
a movie
least
with him,
nothing
Tobey
that's really
Maguire,
even
and
close to being put
Tom
together.
Holland.
Learning this about Andy Serkis
Like
and learning
a
the
pure
change
Spider
for
Man movie, you
Toxin,
know?
how it's not Toxin in the movie, but in a deleted scene it is Toxin, which leads us to believe at one point in time in the movie this was supposed to be Toxin, but they changed it for some reason to maybe possibly do a spin-off of Toxin in their Sony Spider-Man universe maybe one day. Just shows us that they're kind of all over the
They can
place.
use
And you
that
have
one
to
to
think
be
back to
with
what
Andrew
Dakota
Garfield.
Johnson said about her
They could do a
time
lot, man.
filming Madam
Change some
Web,
things
where
up.
she said the script she read was nothing like what the movie ended up being. And she literally said Sony executives get in the way and they change things based on what they think is right. But then she also said that the Sony execs have no idea what the fans want. They're super detached from them. And you can totally
Sony
see this just based off of what Andy Serkis
hired me,
said.
bro.
Him coming in at the last minute to do the voice for Noel. They just cast him right then and there super quickly. And then they casually mentioned, hey, there could be a future with this. I want to believe that there are people over there at Sony who genuinely care about the property and want to make good movies. Like, I definitely know that Tom Hardy cares. I know that Andy Serkis cares. But if the executives are just really getting in the way and kind of overthrowing anything that is remotely close to a good idea because they think they know better, then Sony never is really going to produce anything worthwhile. If the actors and the directors do a good job, but the executives can just come in and change whatever they want, that'll never work. But it also
I
does
honestly
kind of
feel
explain
like
why some of these could be so bad, even
I'll
though we're
take all that
told
together.
Sony consults with Kevin Feige on what they do. But again, it ultimately doesn't
Okay.
matter because from what we know, originally Madam Web was
It's through
supposed to
their
have a
movies, yeah.
Spider-Man in it. It was originally supposed to be Andrew Garfield's, however, the timelines didn't exactly line up. Then it was supposed to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but then they scrapped that. That is most likely what Dakota Johnson was
combined him with
referring
Andrew
to. The original
Garfield, bro. Might
script
as
clearly
well.
had Spider-Man fighting Ezekiel Sims in it. It was clearly very different and probably much better, but then she said the execs came in and changed a lot. So they could consult with Kevin Feige and he could say, yeah, you should do this, you should do this. But at the end of the day, if the execs come in and change it all, it doesn't really matter. Now, again, I'm hoping Craven
why
is
do they
good. I
keep
never want to
changing it,
write
though? Like,
a movie off because the studio has been stupid in
I
the
think
past.
Craven
But
gonna
now
be
more than
amazing.
ever, I am really starting to think that they're just kind of producing these movies to make sure they maintain the
I feel like
rights to
Craven is
Spider-Man
one of the
so
ones
they
they
can keep
actually
making money with Spider-Man being in the MCU.
took time
And with
on.
the off chance that they have a movie that actually does make some profit. And I gotta tell you, it's getting kind of annoying. I've done a few of these rant videos about Sony, and I'm sure there's another one coming in the future, but I really wish they would just
Yep,
listen
I'll
to
be
fans
right here
and kind
with
of start
you, bro. look. I honestly feel like Sony just don't. They either don't have nobody on their team that really cares too much about Marvel because they focus on something else, or the person that likes it, they honestly just don't have something that's convincing. Well, it might be convincing, but they probably just like, bro, we don't feel like they just don't care. That's how